las monedas. Ya estuve revisando en dónde están. Bueno, es un relajo. Perdón. Están hablando. Ya. Ahora sí. Estuve investigando a ver en dónde estaban las monedas que nos faltaban para no andar dando vueltas como baboso. Y está fácil. Ok. Entramos a la sala de los sirvientes que es el puerta donde nos quedamos. Voy rápido por las monedas. Ay, qué baboso. Espera acá. Ok, la primera moneda, no sé cómo se nos pasó, pero la primera moneda está yendo hacia acá. Y está en esta baranda. No sé por qué no nos salía, pero bueno. Ok. La segunda moneda, de este lado. Entramos a este lugar. Y está en esta cama. No sé por qué no entré la vez pasada aquí. Ahora voy a hacer algo que no hice la vez pasada. Bueno, aquí no hay nada. Aquí unos suministros y otras cosas. Antes de salir, aquí no está la otra moneda está en el ala. LOL. LOL. Ok. Está esta ventana. Es cuando. ¿Si es esta? No, no es esta. ¿Qué ventana es? Cagajo. Ah, no. Esta ventana. Y en esta ventana, ¡ay! Saltamos así para ir a este lado, y aquí hay un cofre. Y un de estos. Luego, de este balcón vamos a saltar el balcón de ahí abajo. ¡Oh! A saltar el balcón de aquí abajo y encontrar esto. Y después, si no te quieres meter un golpe muy fuerte, puedes saltar con este o ya. Y es este balcón en donde encontramos al dude malote. Ah, no, a Brianna, que o sea, no es malote. Y aquí sería todo. Luego seguimos. Vamos a perder como 3 puntos de aprobación. Es importante que antes de continuar con la historia, en este punto precisamente, se agarren todas las cosas. Ahora hay una moneda que no se puede agarrar, que es desde el principio. El resto sí. Luego entonces vamos hacia acá. Ir a la ver. Ok, en el ala real. Aquí te dice que te equipes. No se equipen porque vamos a regresar. Ok, en el ala real, en el cuarto que necesitaron las 5 hayas, solo necesitan eso para las misiones secundarias. En este cofre está. Tenemos todo el dinero. Regresamos. Y aquí se vuelve ligeramente importante esto. ¿Por qué? Porque necesitamos 2 saves. No estoy seguro de qué pase en el futuro. Y le estoy jugando al vuelo. Y nos van a ir quitando puntos. Entonces aquí podemos hablar con Cassandra.
You don't seem to care much for the ball.
Or legions pretend their petty squabbles are a game. Yes, let us treat murder, corruption, and deceit as delightful amusement. How wonderful.
Ya me lo había dicho.
We are here to save Empress Celine, and it galls me. Why does she merit our protection? The Empire would be better off without her. Gaspard is the leader Orlais needs in this crisis.
You support the Civil War?
He would see the true threat, not spend it. I'll be what...
Ok, aquí no entiendo bien qué puede pasar, pero ir al salón de baile.
Age Inquisitor. Too few Imperial.
Mistress Nightingale, what a pleasure to see you again. You look radiant.
Marquis, it's been far too long. How's your family in Belgium?
We can only hope Celine prevails tonight. Gaspard will win us.
What is Lord Inquisitor?
It's been too long since I've had any word from Benoit.
Ok, al parecer todos están como si no pasara nada. Aquí hay dos cosas. Voy a arriesgarme y voy a hacer estas misiones. La regué ahorita que fui, pero voy a aventar todas las monedas a la fuente.
The Inquisitor was headed out of the Fade by Andraste.
Y me dan muchísima aprobación.
Maker, I hope
Y voy a hablar con Leilana.
Gaspar is wasting his time.
Espero que... O no, mejor dicho... A ver, déjenme... Pues según yo... aquí todavía no agarro la moneda de... No sé por qué me dice que termine todas las misiones secundarias. Ok, como pueden ver es un prueba y error de todo esto. No lo he hecho nunca. Entonces... Ahí están
We should look around.
todas las cartas. Todas las monedas. Listo. Ok, me arriesgaré a tirar las monedas. Antes guardaré. Aquí es en donde les digo, hay que hacer dos saves. Uno aquí. Y el que vamos a usar. Listo. Ok, ya lancé la moneda.
Gaspar is wasting his time. Natividad continua.
Aquí podrían hacer con Liliana el de...
Tingay. What a pleasure to see you
Lo de
again.
informa los escandalosos.
Look at Lady Cambion's slippers, trimmed with pearls, and those buckles. Toss her into the lake. These are all useful questions for some of us, and Gaspard will have the throne he has wanted. Very interesting. It may not help our investigation, but no sign of...
Ok.
then my eighth husband, Nazaire.
Aquí ya me arriesgué. Si no me sale, lo haré de vuelta en vivo. ¿Qué hice? Le di ya la información. ¿Cuál es mi miedo? Que cuando regrese no tengamos el 100% de aprobación. Eso es lo único que puede pasar. Entonces, ya una vez hecho eso, ya nos arriesgamos. Y no no hay vuelta atrás. La gran serie de chantajes. Fíjense. Yo espero que me den aprobación por caer así de Kiuli. Ok, aquí es una tía que manda puros piolines, o sea, es mi tía de los piolines. Si ustedes no tienen una tía de piolines, qué bendecidos son. Listo. Vamos a seguir avanzando. Vamos rápido. ¿Cuál es tu que dice? Yakuza.
I'm thinking trap. Yes, definitely.
Inquisitor, what a pleasure. I wasn't certain you'd attend. You're such a challenge to read. I had no idea if you'd taken my bait.
I fear I'm a bit busy at the moment, if you were looking for a dance partner.
Yes, I see that. Such a pity you did not save one final dance for me. It was kind of you to walk into my trap so willingly. I was so tired of your meddling. Corypheus insisted that the Empress die tonight, and I would hate to disappoint him.
Why kill the Empress? What does Corypheus want to achieve?
Celine's death is a stepping stone on the path to a better world. Corypheus will enter the Black City and claim the godhood waiting for him. We will cast down your useless maker and usher in a united world, guided by the hand of an attentive god.
Órale.
You're Orlesian royalty. Why would you help Corypheus attack your empire?
You think so small, Inquisitor. Why settle for an empire when Corypheus will remake the entire world? I admit, I will relish the look on Gaspar's face when he realizes I've outplayed him. He always was a sore loser.
What exactly is in this for you?
The world, of course. I'll deliver the entire south of Thedas, and Corypheus will save me. When he has ascended to godhood, I will rule all Thedas in his name.
No es tarde para lo... No lo conseguirás.
You don't have to go through with this, Florian. There's still time to turn back.
Oh, my dear Inquisitor, you are so naive. In their darkest dreams, no one imagines I would assassinate Celine myself. All I need is to keep you out of the ballroom long enough to strike. A pity you'll miss the rest of the ball, Inquisitor. They'll be talking of it for years. Kill her. Bring me the marked hand as proof. It will make a fine gift for the Master.
Just those tits. What was all that? Were those demons? There aren't any more of those blasted demons coming, right?
No more demons. It's safe.
Maker? I've never seen one that close before. I knew Gaspard was a bastard, but I didn't think he'd feed me to fucking horrors over a damn bill.
Duke Gaspard lured you out here.
Well, his sister. But it had to come from him, didn't it? And all that garbage she was spewing doesn't mean anything. Gaspard had to be the mastermind.
Tell me everything you know.
The Duke wanted to move on the palace tonight, but he didn't have enough fancy chevaliers. So he hired me and my men. He had to offer us triple our usual pay to come to Orlais. Stinking fancy cheesemongers.
Aunque es buen momento para leer algo. Ok, pues al parecer puedes.
Want a new job? One that pays better? The Inquisition can always use a good mercenary company.
You hiring? I'm game. Anything's better than this bullshit. You want me to talk to the Empress or the court or sing a blasted song in a chantry? I'll do it.
Entonces. Por aquí vine. Ah. Y no hay nada. Sí. Compañero de teatro, Lady Gramosi, el cadáver todavía no está frío. Alguien en esta mansión ha matado a Lord Carcass. Valech, la doncella por el amor del hacedor. Hay un asesino entre nosotros. Capitán Dor, por Andraste, la mujer tiene razón. ¿Qué hacemos ahora? Madre Emerald. Debemos encontrar alguna pista que nos indique cómo se ha llevado a cabo este acto impío. Capitán Dor, a juzgar por la cantidad de sangre en las paredes, el asesino ha recreado en su obra. Blatch se desmaya. La muerte de la mansión de Violette Armand. Por increíble que parezca, este divertido y predecible melodrama generó una tormenta de debates. Al final de la obra, el asesino Lord Carcass cambia su máscara por la de un villano. Justo antes de dar el discurso de confesión muy elaborado en aquella época, las máscaras del teatro recién eran fijas para cada personaje. Las obras se escribían dando por sentado que la máscara daba al público información vital sobre los personajes de la obra, pero la muerte en la mansión ignoró este contrato implícito y dejó estupefacto a todo el público en su época. Armand sufrió duros ataques por su muerte en la mansión, tanto por parte del público como parte de la crítica. Muchos la acusaron de una violación imperdonable del espíritu del teatro. Sin embargo, se expandió entre los autores más importantes de la época la moda de hacer historias de cara falsa. Como resultado, a día de hoy, las técnicas de Armand se consideran comunes y corrientes, lo cual demuestra con qué facilidad la alquimia del tiempo convierte la extravagancia en algo cotidiano. Del compendio del teatro Relation, volumen 6, las obras de cara falsa del maestro Pelinard. Ok, si hubiéramos traído estas tuyas, aquí podríamos haber abierto todo y no abrir nada hasta el final. Ah, quítense. Pero pues la verdad es que
Thank the Maker you're back. The Empress will begin her speech soon. What should we do?
Wait here, Cullen. I'm going to have a word with the Grand Duchess.
What? There's no time. The Empress will begin her speech any moment.
We owe the court one more show, Your Grace.
Inquisitor.
I'm giving you a chance to end this peacefully. There's no need for more death. Corypheus is only using you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? You've already forgotten trying to kill me in the garden just a moment ago? You arranged for your brother to be at the ball so everyone would be watching him while you carried out your plan. So when the council emissary stumbled into the wrong room and found your assassins, you could pin the blame on Gaspard. The Empress, your brother, and the entire court all here as your guests. A tempting target for Corypheus.
This is very entertaining, But you do not imagine anyone believes your wild stories.
That will be a matter for a judge to decide, cousin.
Gaspard? You cannot believe this. You know I would never... Gaspard?
You lost this fight ages ago, Your Grace. You're just the last to find out. Your Imperial Majesty, I think we should speak in private, elsewhere.
Your sister attempted regicide in front of the entire court, Gaspard.
You're the spy master. If anyone knew this atrocity was coming, it was you.
You don't deny your involvement.
I do deny it. I knew nothing of Florian's plans. But you knew it all and did nothing.
I don't know which is better. That you think I'm all-seeing, or that you're trying so hard to play innocent, and failing.
Enough. We will not bicker while Tevinter plots against our nation. For the safety of the Empire, I will have answers.
Every one of you is implicated. You all conspired to allow this to happen.
That's a bold claim, Inquisitor. Are you prepared to defend it?
Briala was sabotaging the negotiations all along. I have the documents she stole from your ambassadors.
Even if I did, there's nothing you can do about it. Lay a finger on me, and you'll have riots in every city in Orlais.
The elves won't stand up for you once they know you let your lover burn Halam Shiral's alienage to the ground.
The Inquisitors outmaneuvered you, Rabbit. I'm impressed.
You were going to attack tonight. You brought mercenaries in addition to your soldiers.
Clever move. If you were trying to get hanged for treason.
And so you knew of Gaspard's coup and let it go far enough to hang him for treason.
You've made your point. What do you want?
You are three of the best minds in the Empire. You could do so much for Orlais and your people if you stopped fighting.
It is remarkably optimistic to believe that the three of us could ever forget our differences, Inquisitor.
I cannot believe you want to make a speech. This is foolish.
We have no choice. The nobility requires an answer for what happened.
Unless you want to pretend the war was all a dream. That would go over well. No more dithering. We make the cut swift and clean. Kindest to all of us.
Lords and ladies of the court, we are pleased to announce that an accord has been reached. Our cousin Gaspard will now hold a place of honor in our cabinet.
Friends, we assembled are the leaders of the Empire. We must set the example for all Thedas. We cannot be at war with each other, while the Fade itself challenges our borders.
We must stand united or surely we will fall alone.
We will save Thedas from calamity, but only together may we accomplish this.
We will heal our wounded country. A long road of reconstruction lies before us. But tonight, we celebrate the arrival of peace. Let the festivities commence!
The Orlesian nobility make drunken toasts to your victory, and yet you are not present to hear them. Do you tire so quickly of their congratulations, Inquisitor? 'Tis most fickle, after all your efforts on their behalf.
There's plenty of opportunity for that later. I wanted some air.
I had no wish to interrupt your breathing, only to bring news. By Imperial decree, I have been named liaison to the Inquisition. Celine wishes to offer you any and all aid, including mine. Congratulations.
I had no idea you were interested in joining the Inquisition.
The assignment has been given to me, regardless of my personal interest. Celine knows you face an opponent who wields great magical power, which is far more important than her own curiosity. You will require my knowledge if you are to defeat such magic. Regardless, Corypheus is a threat to Orlais and to myself. Thus, I am not opposed to the appointment.
What skills do you have that would benefit us?
I have knowledge which falls beyond the realm of most mages. I suspect this is also true of Corypheus, thus it behooves you to add to your arcane arsenal, yes? Mundane knowledge will not bring the rift in the sky to a close, after all.
When you say knowledge beyond the realm of most mages, do you mean blood magic?
I know many obscure, forgotten, and forbidden arts. Some of it you might consider blood magic, yes? Should thought of that frighten you, allow me to offer reassurance. Knowledge alone does no harm. What I possess, I place at your disposal to make use of or ignore as you desire.
Welcome to the Inquisition, Morrigan.
A most gracious response. I shall meet you at Skyhold.
Is everything all right? You look troubled.
I'm just worn out. Tonight has been very long.
It was a tumultuous evening, but Orlais is safe now. It was worth the struggle. Is there anything I can do? Can I get you anything? A drink, perhaps?
I just need a moment.
Déjenme chingar todos, ya váyanse. Bueno, después de haber jugado contra los DLCs, o sea, los enemigos de los DLCs, todo fue de risa, o sea, no impone ningún reto ni nada. Como les dije, el juego se empieza a romper poco a poco y...
The matter is urgent, Lady Josephine.
I am well aware of that, revered mother.
We will need them to return to Val Royeaux as soon as possible. There are ceremonies, ordinations. Maker's mercy.
That's quite impossible at the moment. However, I will see to this matter as soon as possible.
My Lady Inquisitor, please, may I have a word with you?
How may I assist you, revered mother?
With the political turmoil put to rest, our minds turn to a single question. The next divine. We cannot answer it without the left and right hands of Divine Justinia V.
I have already told you, revered mother. Lady Leliana and Seeker Cassandra cannot be spared from their duties.
But surely with the support of the Empire, the Inquisition will not be harmed by the loss of just 2 souls.
Why do you need Liliana and Cassandra?
They were Her Holiness's most trusted advisors. They represent her legacy, her hopes for peace in Thedas. They could rally the Grand Clerics to follow as no candidate from the clergy has been able to.
Liliana and Cassandra are candidates to become the Divine. How is that possible?
Not yet. But they could be. We need them to be. There is precedent. Other times when clerics remained deadlocked, a successor was chosen from outside the clergy. Lady Liliana and Seeker Cassandra were Justinia's most trusted friends and advisors. Our late Divine is still held in high esteem. To honor her, the Grand Clerics might support one of them as successor.
How long does the Chantry need them?
Several months, at least. If one of them is crowned Divine, she would not be returning to the Inquisition.
Liliana and Cassandra would have to make that decision for themselves.
And they certainly will, at a later date. The Inquisitor has only just returned and has important business to attend to. You must excuse us, revered mother. Don't let them detract from your victory at Alam-Shiral. We've beaten his wardens and stopped his intrigues. Soon, Corypheus will have no place to hide. Cullen is hoping to press our advantage. We'll plan our next attack when you're ready.
Wow, Cassandra y Liliana.
Control space.
Okay.
Thank you.
¿Qué paja?
Inquisitor.
What's been going on?
Not much. Usual. Nice of you to ask.
Take care.
Que re bien es. Harding.
Inquisitor. Welcome back.
¿Por qué está cerrado?
One for the Empress. For Gaspard. Brianna. The Duchess. And Corypheus. Right in the dangle bag.
You think all those people should be treated the same?
After Halam-Shirel? Kind of. They all get little people killed and don't care. A cook here, a footman there. What's it matter, right? So long as there's a book for the throne. A pretty one, sure. But how many lives are worth one empress's arse? Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
Tijeretas arruinan el baile.
We decided the course of a nation. I think it was worthwhile.
Right. Orlais will never be the same. Except for everything they say and do. Ugh, you know the most important thing I got out of all of that mess? The one thing. Don't sleep with empresses. That's what that was all about. That, and Briala being an idiot. The whole thing would have gone different if that little piss-up wasn't in the middle.
That was a mistake on their part. It made everything worse.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died before there was a hole in the sky. That's who you're saving. If you get a chance, maybe remind them not to be idiots.
Okay. Halam-Shirel. Aquí está.
The Inquisitor.
¿Qué vale?
I didn't understand the Grand Ball. It would have been easier if they said what they wanted.
That would have made everything much simpler.
The colors were pretty, though.
May I ask how things are, now that you're more human?
It hurts. Everything hurts. Everyone remembers me now. I can only make them miss me for a few heartbeats. But I'm real. More real, anyway. And I understand more than I did.
You're still able to sense the feelings of others, aren't you?
Yes, I still feel things, flashes of their minds. Pain, hurt, all of it. It's not so loud anymore. I make more noise myself, so I don't hear as much unless I want to. I remember more things, though. It lets me learn. I sometimes see why something I said would bother Cullen. Maybe I'll do it less.
What's the difference between you and a spirit now?
Spirits are... they just are. Most of them sense something that interests them and stick to it. They don't remember much. It keeps them pure, but it also keeps them from learning, from growing. I wanted to help people, but I only knew enough to do it in the simplest way. Now I can see more. I also want to hit people a lot. Varric is helping with that.
Are you still physically the same, or are you fully human?
I was always fully human. I can do everything I could do before, except make people forget. The way I move comes from my mind, not my body. As long as I remember some of the Fade, it remains. My body is just like the real Cole's. Except that he was a mage. I'm not.
Why aren't you a mage?
I can't know for sure, but the real Cole, his father beat him, killed his mother. His sister might have died, too. I don't know if that was real or what the demon made me think. Then the Templars threw Cole in darkness and starved him, all because he had magic. He thought that if he didn't have magic, I'm what he wanted to be. Him, but normal. So no one would hurt him.
Why can't you make people forget you anymore?
Because I'm real. The forgetting was for both sides. They weren't frightened by me, and I wasn't hurt by them. Making people forget was a defense against people attacking me, and having what they saw in me stick. Because I'm real, everything sticks. Whatever people think or feel about me stays.
Can you still help people if you can't make them forget?
It's harder. I can't start over if I do it wrong. But seeing me changes them. They know a person wants them to hurt less. That helps.
I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Would that I could.
Are you sure?
Maker, I hope it's not me.
You know I've got no problem with Orlesians, but Halam Sharal was a mess. At least under the Qun, you don't get everyone tripping on each other's dicks while the country goes to crap.
I hate politics.
You've got a crappy job then, boss.
Commander Cullen did good work at Adamant. Breached those walls like he'd done it a dozen times. Nice job with the demons, by the way.
We'll talk later.
Listo. Así me voy a quedar.
Will you not consider it, Lady Cassandra? The clerics are still sequestered. If no one steps forward, they will debate until...
And you think I could make them agree? I've heard enough for one day, Mother Giselle.
Talk to her, your worship.
The fun never ends in Skyhold, does it?
The Inquisitor was hilarious. That's what they'll say one day. You watch. I assume you've heard that Leliana and I are both candidates to be the next Divine. Because of what happened at Halam Shiral, of course, the Empire favors you. Thus everyone close to you. So now the Chantry bandies our names about without even asking us first.
How can you and Leliana be candidates? You're not even priests.
It's not without precedent. Amar III was sister to the Emperor, and Galatea a commoner. Leliana and I were, at least, part of the Chantry hierarchy. It would be accepted.
If they'll pick non-priests, why am I not a candidate?
Because they don't know what you are, and they're frightened of you. A weight such as yours would break the Sunburst throne and tear the Chantry to pieces. I just don't know why they believe Leliana or I would be any better.
If you don't want it, then tell them so.
Surely it was never meant to be like this. The Chantry, the Circle of Magi, the Templars, this cannot be what they intended when it all began. The Chantry should provide faith, hope. Instead, it cannot veer from its course, even in the face of certain death.
I'm surprised to hear you of all people say that.
Oh? Am I not the same woman who declared the Inquisition against the Chantry's wishes? In all my years as a Seeker, I did what I was told. My faith demanded it. But now my faith demands something else. That I see with better eyes.
Many extraordinary things have happened to get us to this point.
I'm not so certain. I think it has been a long time coming. Did you know Varric is Andrastian? Oh, he blasphemes with every second breath, but deep down he believes. His heart is virtuous. But he would never step foot in a Chantry. It should be the first place to which the virtuous turn. It needs to change. Perhaps I must be the one to change it.
You're not the only candidate. What about Leliana?
Leliana says she wishes to follow Justinia's legacy. But she and I remember a different person. Justinia knew her fellow clerics and the people would only accept so much change. Leliana would cast it all aside and start over, I think. And that would be chaos for us all.
What would you change about the Chantry?
The Circle of Magi has its place, but it needs reform. Let the mages govern themselves with our help. Let the Templars stand not as the jailers of mages, but as protectors of the innocent. We must be vigilant, but we must also be compassionate to all peoples of Thedas, human or no. That is what I would change.
Perhaps the Chantry needs more than just change.
You mean get rid of it entirely? I disagree. Without the Chantry, the faithful would be lost. The Chantry must simply be more responsible in how it leads. I suppose I should not be so concerned. The clerics speak my name for now, nothing more. For now, restoring order and stopping Corypheus remain our priority.
Quiero hablar con Leliana antes de apoyar a cualquiera de ellas dos. Honestamente, se me hace mejor candidata Leliana en este momento que Cassandra. Cassandra se me hace excelente candidato.
A hole drilled into the skull will cure most ailments. Imagine not to be dependent on magic.
my maker, you cannot imagine how many letters I've received about the fracas at Halam Sharal. Fortunately, you tied twice as many threads as cut, although it is yet bewildering at the center.
There are problems coming out of Halam Sharal.
There are always problems from Halam Sharal. We've lost a few contracts, but more than made up for it. Although, if a few commendations were given, it might retie some severed threads. I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war table, and I'm not going near that thing.
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
With Skyhold shining like a beacon? You name it, it's here or on the way. I've wrung out the slackers, given them what for. I think I like this job.
As you were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor.
Qué lástima que no puedo terminar esa misión. Bueno, vamos a hablar con el resto de nuestros compañeros antes de continuar y leer el códice otra vez. ¿Qué onda, Rick?
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
Can I ask you something, Val?
You want to talk about me? No problem.
Vean, se va poniendo, se va completando el canvas según nuestras acciones. No sé qué vaya significando qué, pero la mayoría es rojo. Entonces, no sé si eso sea algo malo o bueno, pero bueno.
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations, the machinations, betrayals. After our time in Halam Sharal, I understand why. I have forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
You missed court intrigue? When were you at court?
Oh, well, never directly, of course. An elven apostate is rarely invited to speak with empresses and kings. But from the Fade, I have watched dynasties form and empires crumble. It is sometimes savage, sometimes noble, and always fascinating. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally, especially after helping her neutralize Briala.
Am I sensing concern over how we dealt with Briala?
No. Why would I disapprove of... Oh, because we're both elves. I'm sorry, I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
Yeah, no, la verdad es
Nor
que sí.
should you. You're not defined by the shape of your ears. They're not your people.
No, they are not. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, I believe Briala is doing quite well on their behalf. She is an admirable woman.
Briala only cares about elves.
True. It is not her vision I admire. She organized resistance against a powerful enemy, using only her wits and the resources at hand. That demands respect, especially in a world where most would look at her and only see a pair of pointed ears.
Aunque estuvimos en desacuerdo en muchas cosas, eso es lo que realmente pienso. Ah, la Inquisition. A ver. ¿Qué onda,
I'd be
Colin?
perfectly happy never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing, I know what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
We ended the stalemate. That's what matters.
In the Winter Palace, the clerics in Val Royeaux were still arguing over who should be divine. Chantry politics may involve less spectacle, but they're just as heated. Celine and Gaspard rule a country. The divine influences half a continent.
Is there anything I should know?
Only that I'm never playing cards again. I still can't find my... It doesn't matter. I don't know how Varric talked me into that.
Is there anything I should know?
Many of our recruits viewed the Grey Wardens as heroes. Blackwall's presence is helpful. Knowing there's one warden immune to corruption has given people hope. Corypheus's grasp is not inescapable.
Is there anything I should know?
My senior officers report that the soldiers are in good spirits. Having the Imperial Army as an ally has bolstered their confidence. The Orlesian military is highly regarded. Of course, I'd wager our own recruits are equal to any chevalier.
Is there anything I should know?
There are fewer arguments between our Templar and Mage recruits than when we started. I've seen them trading stories, building one another up for the fight to come. I pray this won't be lost when their common enemy is gone.
Is there anything I should know?
Your plan is sound. We are ready to move on the Arbor Wilds when you give the word. I will see you reach the temple before Corypheus.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
What do you think of the people?
Who do you mean?
I should let you get back to work.
You have to admit, it looks bad.
No. Esta es una de las máscaras personales de la gran duquesa Florian de Chalon, una exquisita pieza de uno de los mejores maestros artesanos de Orley y la envidia de muchos. Ha sido concedida a la Inquisición con la aprobación de la corte imperial. Ok, algo está pasando aquí. Y entendí así de, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo soy?
Want a drink? I've a hankering for company. When I was a boy, there were these urchins who roamed the streets near my father's house. One day, they found a dog. A wretched little thing. It came to them for food. They caught it, tied a rope around its neck, and strung it up. Do you know what I did?
You stopped them? Cut the dog down?
I did nothing. Not a damn thing. It was crying. I saw the kicking legs, the neck straining and twisting. And I turned around, went inside, and closed the door. I could have told my father, or alerted someone. I didn't. I just pretended it wasn't happening.
You said you were just a boy.
I was old enough to know the dog was suffering and that it was wrong. I may as well have tied the noose myself. We could make the world better. It's just easier to shut our eyes.
When we first met, you were saving peasants from demons and outlaws. You're not a man who shuts his eyes. A little insane, maybe.
Of course you'd make light of it. You make saving the world look easy. The rest of us can only dream of matching what you've done. Don't you see? It's not just about what happened back then. There's always some dog out there. Some fucking mongrel that doesn't know how to stay away.
¿Eh? Un mensaje de Black Bow. Inquisidor, has sido una amiga y una inspiración. Me has dado la sabiduría para distinguir el bien del mal y lo más importante, el coraje para defenderlo primero. Ha sido un honor servirte. ¿Qué pedo?
The Spy Master has confirmed it. Blackwall is gone.
Go on. Leliana knows where he is, doesn't she? She knows everything.
She doesn't know everything, yet. Sister Leliana had us search the Warden's quarters. Not much to find, except this. It was missing from last week's reports. I don't know what Blackwall's interest in this particular matter is, but it could be a good place to start.
Un informe arrugado. Una hoja de papel arrugada parece que se ha extraído de un informe reciente dirigido a la hermana de Liliana, Teniente Cyril Mowney. Uno de los soldados responsables de la matanza de Callier de 937 ha sido capturado en Lights. Al igual que los demás, fueron arrestados por su implicación. Monroy insiste que no sabía a quién asesinaba y que solo seguía órdenes de su capitán. Dicho capitán, Tom Renier. Ah, el dude de Orley ese. Aún anda suelto. Monroy debe ser ejecutado esta semana en Bol Rollo. Ajá. Ajá. Minecraft. Minecraft. Ok, aquí nada más están estas cosas. A ver, Bonnie, ¿qué onda? ¡Oh!
Inquisitor.
How are you doing?
In this gilded fortress?
How could we know? We'll speak in... Of course.
O sea, aquí que venden. ¿Y por qué? Porque hay dos que venden. ¿Tú qué vendes? Armaduras. Ajá. ¿Y tú? ¿Eh? Ajá. Minecraft. 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 Pues vean ese video del Minecraft, es genial el morro. Es que está rapeando, según eso es un rap. El rap de Minecraft. Ok, me faltan botellas. ¿Cuántas botellas? Órale. Vamos a hablar con la hermana Nightingale. Suena súper chingón, Nightingale. Qué ole, Fiona. ¿Por qué no te has ido?
Greetings again, Inquisitor. I trust everything is well with the mages.
There have been a few scuffles with your Templars, but overall, it is going well.
I'll leave you to it.
Vamos a hablar contigo, chavo.
Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
Me alegro haber ayudado.
That's something you actually miss.
All the drama, the scandal, the petty maneuverings. Back home, we engage in social affairs with the grim intensity of war. When blood is spilled, the battle is won. Less fun when you're the target, but to watch. My. Yes. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me.
Ok, Leilana, vamos a ver qué dices tú.
So it's true. Some look to Cassandra or even me as Justinia's successor. I never thought the idea would gain momentum. Of course, with the other candidates out of the picture...
Is becoming divine something you really want?
When Justinia was alive, I would have laughed at anyone who even suggested that I could be her successor. Things have changed. Still, I don't know. Restoring the Chantry will be like trying to steer a sinking vessel through a storm.
No one would fault you for abandoning ship, you know.
Out of the ship, and straight into the sea. You think Thedas hates mages now? If the Chantry falls, don't you think the people will blame magic? Look at all that's happened. Kirkwall's Chantry, the war, the breach. Mages are always involved. Without the Chantry to guide, that hatred will spiral out of control.
Wow. You really don't think highly of Thedosians.
The people care only for simple things. Their world is small, and everything beyond it is unknown and something to fear. They will continue to live like this, unless they can be shown another way. But this is a discussion for later. If Corypheus wins, finding a new divine will be the least of our problems. A message from Divine Justinia. That's a shock. You're right reading it. Thank you for the concern, Inquisitor. But I am. This message was written months, perhaps even years ago, to be delivered to me if she died. I've heard of such contingency plans. A sudden death often leaves loose ends. I'm to go to Valence, a small village on the waking sea. There is something hidden there.
Do you know what you're looking for?
The Divine was a powerful woman who used her position to obtain all sorts of things. Whatever she hid in Valence would very likely benefit the Inquisition and must be kept from falling into the wrong hands. If I'm lucky, she will have instructions for me.
You take your instructions from me? What sort of help can a dead divine give you?
I don't know. Perhaps something to do with a chantry. Or it could be personal. She guided me for many years, Inquisitor, as a divine and as a friend. There are days when I still look to her for advice, only to remember that I am alone.
Why hide things in Valence? What's so special about it?
Justinia was revered mother at the chantry there for many years before she became the divine. It is a place that holds great meaning for her.
I'll help in whatever way I can.
Wonderful. I was hoping you would agree to come with me to Valence. One more thing. If what is hidden in Valence is as valuable as I think, we're not going to be the only ones looking for it. I shall meet you at the chantry in Valence. Try not to delay.
Estaréis encantados de saber que vuestros amigos les va bien, amorcito. Okay.
Inquisitor?
Anything I should know?
Celine has cemented power in Orlais. Good, we need an ally like her. At the moment, she's said to be rooting out the last of Gaspard's supporters. Once that is done, we will have a united Orlais behind the Inquisition.
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
What do you know of Morrigan?
I first met her when we were traveling with the hero of Ferelden. We never really got along. Morrigan can be a powerful ally. Just never forget that she's here because she wants something. Work with her, learn from her, trust her if you must, but never underestimate her.
We can continue this conversation later.
You know where I am.
A ver, vamos a Morley. ¿Dónde está? Blackwell, ah no. ¿Eh? Balance. ¿Qué onda con Black Wolf?
It's just as I remember it.
You didn't tell me you'd been here before.
After the Blight ended, I came here to see Justinia. She was just Dorothea then, a revered mother. I needed her wisdom after the hero of Ferelden died.
I didn't expect it to be so... deserted. It makes me uneasy.
It's a small village and it's too early for the chant. I'm sure the sisters are somewhere.
Liliana, is that you?
Sister Natalie, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Val Rayo.
No, I've been here since Justinia died. This place makes me feel like she's still with us.
Inquisitor, this is Natalie, a trusted friend.
Wait, Inquisitor? You brought the Inquisitor here? My lady, forgive me for not recognizing you earlier.
I wish more people would fail to recognize me.
Oh, I see.
Natalie, listen. There is something hidden here. Something Justinia left for me.
Oh, really? What is it?
I don't know, but we'll find it. I'm curious to see what brought us all here. Justinia's letter came with instructions for me. They were a little cryptic. Always remember that faith sprung from a barren branch. That light has no fear of darkness. Above all, that strength lives in an open heart.
She must be hinting at something in here. Let's look around.
Do they still sing verses from the benedictions every Friday? That canticle was Justinia's favorite.
Yes, of course. We'd never give up the traditions of our most beloved divine.
That is lovely to hear. I stare up at the breach sometimes. It's terrifying, but beautiful in its way.
Beautiful.
Have you seen it by sunrise?
When the sun rises through it, it splits into what looks like 1,000 suns. Like a broken mirror.
Yes. Spectacular, isn't it? You must be careful, Natalie. Justinia's enemies are making their move, vying for position and the Sunbird's throne. I was in the cloister in Lothering when the Blight began. There was a lot of fear back then. No one knew what was going to happen, whether we would live or die. And then one morning, I found a single bloom on a dead rose bush. And I thought, even in the midst of all this, life finds a way. The Maker hasn't abandoned us. Always said that compassion was my greatest strength. It takes courage to trust. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Good old Leliana was playing you the whole time.
Didn't you realize? They never sing the benedictions here on Fridays, Natalie. Something so simple. And you got it so wrong. I wanted to believe, but thought you were lying from the start. Keep that pretty mouth shut if you must, dear. You've already told me everything I need to know. The prickleweed burrs on your hem, talking about the sun rising through the breach. It all points to a single place. Morel in the Dales, Grand Cleric Victoire's bastion. She sent you, didn't she? Victoire was always an opportunist.
Who is this Grand Cleric? I've never heard of her.
An experienced cleric. She never agreed with Justinia, but kept her ideas to herself. I suppose now, with Justinia dead, she thought she could make her move.
I want to know what this Grand Cleric planned here.
She sent Natalie here to see what Justinia was hiding, no?
The Inquisition has turned Thedas away from the true Chantry. It must be stopped.
Stop us? You must be joking.
Mother Victoire is well loved by many. The Inquisition has more enemies than you know.
And Victoire thinks she can ally with them.
We don't have to be at odds, Natalie. You could come with us, join the Inquisition.
I was called to serve the Grand Cleric. I will not betray her. Kill me then. I am not afraid to die for my beliefs. At least I still know what I believe.
Release her, Leliana. She is no threat.
The Grand Cleric?
She is one woman. We are the Inquisition.
The Inquisitor has spoken. Run. Tell your mistress that she has a choice. The Inquisition is coming. No! This can't be it. There's nothing here.
Check again. Perhaps the box itself is a puzzle. She seemed the puzzling sort.
No, it's just an empty box. There's a message carved in the lid. The left hand should lay down her burden. She's releasing me. The Divine has a long reach, but it is always her left hand that stretches out. 1,000 lies, 1,000 deaths. Her commands, but my conscience that bore the consequences.
She apologized in the Fade. She said she failed you. This is what she meant.
All this time, Justinia carried the fear that she was using me. Just like I'd been used in the past. But Marjolaine's games were trifles. Justinia gambled with the fate of nations. She needed me. No one else could have done what I did. She knows that.
Then you have to let it go. Let her go. You don't owe her anything anymore.
If it were not for you, I would have killed Natalie and called it a good thing. Thank you for showing me what was right when I couldn't see it for myself. There are things that must be said, but not here. I will see you back at Skyhold.
Está bonita esta iglesia. Una carta escrita por la divina Justicia entregada póstumamente a Leilana indicó visitar Valence, un pequeño poblado en el del mar del despertar. La divina dejó algo en la capilla que Leilana debía de ver. No, chavos. Quiero que Leilana sea la siguiente divina. Se me hace la mejor opción. Y así quiere esta Cassandra, ¿no?
Grand Cleric Victoire has offered the ambassador support for the Inquisition.
Ah, Natalie is as persuasive as ever.
I'm told that Ambassador Montillier is pleased with the restraint you showed in Valence.
She's positively beside herself. I will never hear the end of it.
Niceness before knives, Liliana. Haven't I always told you?
Will that be all, my lady?
For now. I love making new friends, don't you? It was a gamble, Inquisitor, but it paid off. If you hadn't been with me at Valence, I would have killed Natalie. I'd have told you that I didn't have a choice. But there is always a choice. I am more than this. I am more than what Justinia made me.
Do you resent Justinia for what she did?
How can I when there is so much between us? When she gave her life for peace? No, I believe her intentions were pure. Most intentions are.
What does this mean for my Inquisition? Will you still be my spy master?
Of course. I would not give up my post. Not after everything we've built. I just know now that I shouldn't ignore my heart. Mercy is not always a weakness.
You've exceeded her. She could never have imagined the power you now hold.
And now I will know how to use that power wisely. I have to stay true to who I really am, before a spy master, left hand or bard. I almost lost myself.
Did you need something? Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
I'll leave you to your work. My dear, I'm afraid I must ask you for help.
Okay.
There is an alchemical formula that I must complete, but I have been unable to obtain a critical ingredient. The heart of a snowy wyvern. I had arranged to obtain one, but the chevaliers working with me were killed in the Civil War. If I'm going to hunt down a snowy wyvern, I need you to tell me everything you know about it. They're quite rare and exceedingly dangerous. Their venom is the most potent of any wyvern. Ordinary hunters would not make the attempt. The risk is too great. You, my dear, would certainly be an equal to this monster. I didn't know you were an alchemist, Vivian. What exactly is this project you're working on? It is a special request from a member of the Council of Heralds. I am still the Imperial Court Enchanter, after all. The matter is private. That is all there is to say. You want me to risk my life to get this thing for you, but you won't tell me what it's for. My dear, it is hardly proper for me to blab the secrets of those who put trust in my discretion. I would do no less for you, after all. I'm not a hunter. Why do you think I can help? This beast is not hunted for sport, as other wyverns sometimes are. It is far more deadly. In the past, chevaliers have been dispatched to either kill the creatures or drive them away from villages. Since my chevaliers have fallen to political conflict, I find myself in need of someone with a martial aptitude. I'll do what I can. Thank you, my dear. I would be most grateful. I shall give the location of its lair to Cullen. Remember, my dear, I must have its heart, or the potion will not work.
I eagerly await your success.
Okay.
I always have time for you, my dear. Inquisitor, the soldiers say you banished the demons at Adamant and freed the Grey Warden mages. I understand from Sister Liliana that the truth is somewhat more complex, but no less extraordinary. She said that you spoke with a figure in the Fade that seemed to be the soul of divine Justinia. I suspect many of the faithful would like to know what Justinia told you.
She helped me remember what happened at the Conclave. The Maker didn't give me the mark on my hand. I was struck in battle. And Andraste didn't send me. The figure everyone saw was Divine Justinia.
So, it is as you have always maintained. You must feel quite vindicated.
I may not have believed, but part of me always hoped it was true. That I was the Herald of Andraste.
Who is to say that you are not? Forget the mark. Forget the figure standing over you as you fell from the Fade. The people needed a sign that in this harsh and unforgiving world, there existed some reason to hope. And they found that in you.
That isn't how it works. The evidence for me having some divine mission was proven false.
This is the trouble with metaphors and the educated. A farmer cannot understand the truth of the Maker, so he learns that the Maker is a man, but greater. A mage learns the same thing, knows it to be simplistic, and feels clever for realizing it is not literally true. But a metaphor is not a lie. It is a tool to help people understand something beyond them, and we need such a tool.
But how do you keep your stories straight when different people understand different things?
The same way you keep Sister Liliana, Commander Colin, and Ambassador Montilier happy all at once. Very carefully. A farmer, a noble, a warrior, and a mage will all see different aspects of the Maker in their lives. They must each hear the story that will reach them, and each of those stories is valid. Now, is there anything I can help you with?
Can you tell...
What would you like to know?
Farewell, revered mother.
Make her go with you. Your worship.
'Tis a large fortress, Inquisitor. To think, until recently this place stood decrepit, occupied only by the desperate and the lost. Now it is party to events that threaten to shake the world. I wonder if it is pleased.
¿Es frío?
It sounds like you've heard of Skyhold before.
This fortress was built upon the remains of a site holy to the ancient elves. They called it Terra Salan, the place where the sky is kept. It is said that from here, they reached up to the heavens to bring them down to rest. They abandoned it, as did the humans who came after them. Bones laid upon bones, silent until your arrival.
I like this place. I've made it mine.
The magic in this place has seeped into the stones, protecting it from darkness. Those who let it fall to ruin did not know what they possessed. You, I think, shall do it justice. You were kind to welcome my aid, Inquisitor, even knowing as little of me as you do. I will do my best to aid your cause with all the knowledge at my disposal. This I swear to you.
I appreciate whatever help you can give us.
Some might think Corypheus a madman for seeking godhood. Yet one must ask, what were the old gods? What secrets of theirs did the ancient magisters know? What I fear, what all should fear, is not that Corypheus believes he can succeed. 'Tis that he actually may.
Okay. Okay.
Here to help, Inquisitor.
¿Qué haces con una enmienda ahí atrás?
I understand you have spared the Grey Wardens from destroying what goodwill was left them. 'Tis good of you, considering the weakness Corypheus exploited was their own doing. Still, should a true archdemon one day arise, they will no doubt be needed. Or so they would have us believe.
Now that you've seen the Inquisition up close, what are your impressions?
'Tis remarkable what you have built. I will give you that. Soldiers are camped outside Skyhold in numbers that would give any nation pause. All this in precious little time, conjured from thin air through the power of fervor alone. I wonder if Corypheus suspected what he was enabling, just as I wonder what will become of all this once he is defeated.
We have to defeat him first. Then I'll worry about what's next.
Should that happen, the world will lie at your feet, more or less. Beware the heights you reach, Inquisitor. When this is done, many will be eager to knock you back down.
I'd like to know more about you.
Ah, yes. Whence comes the mystery woman slinking her way into the Inquisition's ranks? Once I was an apostate, living well away from the banal influence of the Chantry in the Kukari wilds. Then came the Fifth Blight with its darkspawn, and I left Ferelden for the Empress's court. 'Tis certain the nobles of Orlais breathe a collective sigh of relief that I am now here.
It's odd that an apostate could live so openly.
It confuses those who expect apostates to cower and hide. I stand boldly before them and demand to know why I need some Chantry mage to teach me to control my power. They would put me on a leash so they can feel safer at night. I am uninterested in their comfort. Naturally, it helps to have friends in high places.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight.
The Blight began in the Kukari wilds, so yes, I experienced it firsthand. Indeed, I fought at the hero of Ferelden's side for a time. He is the reason the Blight was defeated. We were very close. It was difficult to leave him. And after that, I came to Orlais. The last place one would look for me, or such was my hope.
The Orlesian court seems like an odd place to find someone like you.
That was the point, originally. I knew the Empress was intrigued by the arcane, and that I could answer questions no Chantry mage could. Thus, we fit together nicely. I became her advisor, and she my benefactor and source of refuge. Truth be told, our arrangement would not have lasted much longer. Too many wagging tongues, even for Celine.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Of course. I imagine your forces will be heading into the Arbor Wilds very soon, Inquisitor. Trust me when I say that wherever the Illuvian is hidden, it is worth any effort to prevent Corypheus from acquiring it.
What work have you been doing to help us?
Currently, my efforts are focused on determining what Corypheus is, and from where his power comes. The elven orb he carries is what draws my attention. I wonder if the power he used to tear open the Fade, in fact, came from the orb. Perhaps it is even the source of your anchor. If I learn of its origin, I may also learn what Corypheus now intends, as well as his weaknesses.
I could use your company for my excursions outside Skyhold.
I have spent my share of time wandering the wilderness in the company of others, Inquisitor. Thank you for the invitation, but for now I will restrict my efforts to researching the arcane.
Do you know anything about his dragon?
It has the appearance of an archdemon. Of that, I am certain. A true archdemon, however, is supposedly the corrupted form of an old god. Has Corypheus actually dug up one of the ancient prisons? If so, why has a new blight not begun? His dragon is something else, something connected to his blighted nature as well as his magic. Beyond that, I cannot say.
Is it even possible that Corypheus could succeed?
The Black City exists. Wherever one goes in the Fade, it is visible in the sky. The last time Corypheus and his cohort stormed its doors, they unleashed the Blight upon the world. This time, perhaps he might indeed gain untold power, becoming something unto a god. It is also possible he could unleash something far worse than the Blights. So yes, Corypheus could succeed in his goal. If not, his attempt alone could destroy the world.
Corypheus says I'm a rival. Does that mean...
Could you become a god? That depends. Are you prepared to use your anchor to enter the Black City?
No, never.
Tell Corypheus that, and see if he believes you.
However you can help, it's appreciated.
Continue prodding at Corypheus, Inquisitor. Elicit a reaction, and we may yet learn from it.
I'd like to know more about...
If you have questions, then ask. Of course.
Ok, aquí está el último libro. Y aquí está el Elufian. Para quien estaba buscando todos los libros. Bueno, ahí está. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Y ahora quién voy a juzgar o qué? ¿Qué?
I do not believe a reminder is necessary for this accused. Her capture and disgrace could not have been more public. Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon, although her titles are among the dignities already at risk of forfeiture. You spared her life despite her treachery. What becomes of it now falls to you.
Empress Celine left her fate to me? Interesting.
Despite her posture, Lady Floriane has acknowledged your authority.
Should I curse you on behalf of the Elder One? I realized he had no intention of honoring the concordats I manipulated. Do as you must. I respect your mastery of the game, even as I despise your victory. Celine does not know her fortune.
She remains a creature of formality and opportunity. We have use for both. Grand Duchess, Josephine will see that your wiles profit the Inquisition. Don't disappoint.
Oh, one must remember that the game is never truly over, your worship.
Juicio, jugar para ganar. Ok, vine para acá porque ahora sí quiero ver el inventario, que seguramente no hay nada. Ok, contestar esta llamada. Ok.
This is where a smith should be.
Pitter-patter.
Ok, quizás sea momento de armar otras armas, pero bueno, lo primero, iré a hablar con todos los... A ver, ya fui con Barry, ya fui con Sol, ya fui con Sarah, ya fui con Bull, ya fui con Vivian, ya fui con Dorian, ya fui con Cole, ya fui con Cassandra, ya fui con Colin, con Josephine todavía no he ido, y con Leilana ya fui. Ok. ¿Tú qué onda?
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
No one can say the evening wasn't memorable.
They've already begun composing songs about it in Val Royale, no doubt. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
The nobles of Orlais were worried about their own health. not the Empress's.
Some must have purposefully turned a blind eye. There's often room for advancement when thrones change. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
Insular cliques, snide half-truths, everyone sizing up everyone else. It reminded me of home.
I completely understand the feeling, Inquisitor. Let's hope the next ball either of our families holds is quieter than this one, shall we? We've an interesting development, Inquisitor. A petition from citizens of Val Royal. They wish to know what Andraste said to you in the Fade.
They think she spoke to me.
Even Leliana can't trace the rumor's origin. It may be expedient to respond to those asking for Andraste's words.
It's not Andraste who saved me.
Few people outside Skyhold know it was Divine Justinia who delivered you from the Fade. You could attempt to tell Valroyo's citizens the truth, though it may not be as inspiring as they hope.
Tell them the Inquisition's position is that the Divine saved me from the Fade, not Andraste.
Very well. Some of the devout will be discouraged, but it will plagueate the Chantry. I was hoping you'd be by. We've received letters from Archon Redanus of Tevinter and King Marcus of Nevada. For both monarchs to come to us is nearly unheard of.
I assume that means they both want something very badly from us.
You're quite correct. Archon Redanus requests that the Inquisition, as a neutral party, destroy a Venatori cult on the Nevaran-Tevinter border. King Marcus asks the same, but demands we pledge allegiance to Nevara instead of Tevinter.
What course of action would you take if you were in my place?
Strained as their relationship with Orlais is, I would assist the Imperium. Their friendship is difficult to win, and Marcus is a fading power. Tevinter is the longer, richer gain.
What sort of man is the King of Navarra?
At this point, elderly. Many fear his health will soon fail him. Still, he is a Pentagast. Their dynasty is exceptionally strong in Navarra.
As a Pentagast, will Cassandra be upset if we don't help her relatives?
With all respect to Sigar Pentagast, her interest in politics is best described as thin.
Why is the ruler of Tevinter turning on the Venatori?
He has little reason to love them. Archon Redanus has rightly identified Corypheus as competition. Few monarchs relish a self-styled god showing up to claim their throne.
Tell me about Redanus.
Like most Tevinter rulers, he's heir to an ancient bloodline, politically shrewd, and a highly skilled mage. Rumor also claims he has an incredibly soft spot for cats.
I actually have relatives in Navarra. If you reason with the Archon, the Trevellians can persuade King Marcus we should help both countries.
Letting the Inquisition curry favor with both Tevinter and Navarra. Most ideal. Yes?
How do you stay so civil with everyone, Josephine?
Bonds of circumstance among the nobility are fickle.
Civility is the only constant everyone admires. And I do deplore rudeness in those who know better.
Does it even become a strain sometimes?
Well, it can be trying. There is no shortage of self-regard among the nobility. The game can be wearying, discouraging, and extremely painful. But honestly, I'd miss meeting people. I've made the most fascinating friends.
Better than making piles of interesting enemies.
I've had both, sometimes depending on which way the wind has been blowing at the time. But worth it, all in all, I think.
What do the people make of us?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Ban Vigard of Ferelden is visiting. An honor, to be sure. Please show no alarm if you hear shouting in his quarters at night.
Shouting?
His lordship spent half a year with his lands under siege by Darkspawn during the Ferelden Blight. His wife informs me the Ban still sleeps rather poorly.
Pobre hombre. No importa la cuna. Imagínense vivir en una blight así de... Digo, seguro ayudó a estar en un castillo, ¿no? Pero...
It's time to plan our next attack. What's the state of the Inquisition?
Our alliance with Orlais holds. For the present. They'll send aid on request.
And your actions at Adamant denied Corypheus his army of pet demons. With Orlais' support, our numbers match his. Corypheus's followers must be panicking.
My agents agree. Our victories have shaken his disciples.
We've beaten their god twice over. Corypheus must be livid. Where is he now?
After you dealt with the Duchess, Corypheus uprooted his major strongholds. He's moving south to the Arbor Wilds. His army clearly wasn't prepared to flee. Our victories have them on the defensive.
They've terrorized Thedas long enough. We end them now. If Corypheus is hiding in the Arbor Wilds, that's where we'll go.
But what is Corypheus doing in such a remote area?
His people have been ransacking elven ruins since Haven. We believe he seeks more. What he hopes to find, however, continues to elude us.
Which should surprise no one. Fortunately, I can assist.
You have my attention, Lady Morrigan.
What Corypheus seeks in those Forgotten Woods is as ancient as it is dangerous.
Which is?
'Tis best if I show you.
Illuvian que traes.
This is an Illuvian, an elven artifact from a time long before their empire was lost to human greed. I restored this one at great cost, but another lies within the Arbor Wilds. That is what Corypheus seeks.
You can restore an artifact like this.
There was a price, but one I gladly paid. I found legends of an elven temple within the Arbor Wilds, untouched. It proved too dangerous to approach, and thus I turned elsewhere to find my prize. If Corypheus has turned southward, he could succeed where I failed. The Illuvian would be his.
What does it do?
A more appropriate question would be, where does it lead? If this place once had a name, it has long been lost. I call it the Crossroads, a place where all Illuvians join, wherever they might be.
This place is extraordinary. How could this even exist?
Who can say? Formed from the fabric of time and space, perhaps. The ancient elves left no roads, only ruins hidden in far-flung corners. This is how they traveled between them. As you can see, most of the mirrors are dark, broken, corrupted, or unusable. As for the rest, a few can be opened from this side, but only a few.
How did you find out about this place?
My travels have led me to many strange destinations, Inquisitor. Once, they led me here. It offered sanctuary.
Sanctuary?
Not all the mirrors lead back to our world. The ancients were nothing if not resourceful.
If they don't lead back to our world, then...
Places between, like this one. I can describe it no better. For a time, I was safe from those who hunted me, but only for a time. One cannot remain in between forever.
What do you mean, a few can be opened from this side?
Some of the Illuvians have been left unlocked, like doors accidentally left ajar. All others are closed. They can be opened only from beyond.
Opened how?
With a key.
I suppose you have such a key?
The key can be many things. Each Illuvian is different. I have knowledge as well as power. Often that is enough.
Corypheus wants to come here.
This is not the Fade, but it is very close. Someone with enough power could tear down the ancient barriers.
And enter the Fade in the flesh, like Corypheus wanted to do with the Anchor.
He learned of the Illuvian in the Arbor Wilds as I did. He marshals the last of his forces to reach it. You have made Corypheus desperate, Inquisitor. We must work together to stop him, and soon. My Lady Inquisitor.
You seem to know a great deal about elven law.
The Dalish are not the only ones interested in the distant past, Inquisitor. Indeed, my skills allow me access to places the Dalish dare not even dream of. The ancient elves hold secrets they have not yet given up. Secrets about the foundation of Thedas itself. Thus, they are my focus. Corypheus clearly feels the same.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Of course. Wandering the gardens, I see.
I'd like to...
If you have questions, then ask.
Ok, no me dice nada más. Quítate. Ah, güey, qué volé.
Here to help, Inquisitor.
Julie.
Your worship.
Your worship. Mis aposentos. Asiste a la ejecución de un Ray.
It's good to see you. Let's speak later.
Pensé que me ibas a decir algo bien, Mike. ¿Qué es esto? Anexión de Kirkwall, negociaciones delicadas. Dice llegar a un acuerdo por los planos de armas. Aquello, desenmascarar a aquellos allende los mares. El juego, la verdad, el fin del juego. Ok. Bailar con la viuda. Ok. Ruinas élficas. Sacar provecho de la alianza con Fairbanks. Alianzas con el corazón. El juicio de jugar y ganar. Ayudar a afectados por la guerra civil. Ok, dice. Amladris. Ok, vamos a ver qué onda. El ejercicio imperial. El ejército imperial ayuda a las fuerzas de la Inquisición contra Corypheus, pero también debe ocuparse de sus problemas domésticos. Las debilidades del velo aumentada por las grietas ha hecho que aparezcan demonios en Val Floret y Montsimard.
I have requests for information on your lineage from a few interested parties at the Winter Palace.
Andraste, preserve me. Feel free to use those requests as kindling.
No, I shall take them. I want to know who pines for our commander. We can use this to our advantage.
I am not bait.
Hush. Just look pretty.
Hay que hacer algo al respecto. Por desgracia, la situación ha empeorado con el aumento del número de viajeros en los caminos, mercaderes que buscan restablecer su actividad y civiles desplazados que regresan a casa tras la guerra. El mando del ejército imperial ha solicitado la ayuda de la Inquisición para aplacar esta amenaza. Dudo que el ejército necesite ayuda de un destacamento. Los soldados, mis agentes pueden explorar los caminos y desviar a los viajeros para que eviten las peores zonas. Es una oportunidad para fortalecer nuestra alianza y demostrar a sus semejantes. Una empresa común también mejora nuestro entendimiento de la estructura y las tácticas del ejército imperial. Los mercaderes suelen viajar con escoltas armadas, pero los civiles necesitan protección. Podríamos solicitar ayuda a la capilla de su parte.
To work?
Anexión de Kirkwall, negociaciones delicadas. Okay. La peor parte de la rebelión de los magos ha quedado atrás. Sin embargo, todavía andan sueltos los magos que empezaron todo, los que destruyeron la capilla de Kirkwall y asesinaron a la suma sacerdotisa Elfina. Hay decenas de fieles inocentes. El fanático Anders debe comparecer ante la justicia, aunque puede que ya no esté en Kirkwall. Muchos de sus socios siguen en la ciudad. Es por eso que he decidido invadir Kirkwall para encontrar a Anders, pero la anexión de esta conflictiva ciudad por parte del Refugio Celeste no ha sido tal como se planeó. La resistencia de la ciudad me ha mostrado su oposición. Olvidan que solo hago esto por el bien de la ciudad y todas las marcas libres. Como acérrimo aliado de la Inquisición, ruego vuestra ayuda en esta empresa para tomar el control de Kirkwall antes de que sufran más inocentes. Sebastian Bale. Temo todas las ramificaciones diplomáticas y nuestros soldados forman parte del ejército conquistador. Digamos al principio que la Inquisición crece efectivos disponibles tras la destrucción del refugio. ¿Quién nos va a culpar? Tenemos una oportunidad de beneficiarnos de esto. Afelin se doblegará ante nuestra abrumadora fuerza si instauramos a Sebastián como vizconde y con agentes de la Inquisición como consejeros. Evitaremos que causen más daños. El príncipe desea vengarse de cualquiera que haya amparado a Anders. La capitana de la Guardia Avelin lidera la resistencia de Kirby. Con nuestra ayuda puede quebrar la voluntad de Sebastián y enviarlo de vuelta al Refugio Celeste. He aquí la cuestión. He aquí la cuestión. Oh, 14 horas. Ni siquiera tengo una máscara, por eso cuando la emperatriz Orlesiana me invita a participar en auténticas conversaciones por la paz, me pongo nervioso. No sé a qué se refieren los orlesianos cuando dicen eso, pero tengo entendido que tienen que ver con veneno y baile. Quizá ambos al mismo tiempo. Me han dicho que conocéis a la emperatriz Selene y que está en deuda con vos por salvar la vida, teniendo en cuenta que también ayudáis a salvar la mía. Quizá la Inquisición podría colaborar para hacer realidad estas conversaciones. Realista Theorin. Hay muy mala sangre entre las naciones, pero haré lo que pueda por facilitar las conversaciones. Sí.
Inquisitor.
Ok, vamos a ver las demás. Hay una que no puede hacer. No, todas las puede hacer Leilana. No. Llegar a un acuerdo. Por los planos de armas. Hace poco hablaron de un joven herrero de las Anderfells, brillante e ingenioso. Cuando nos presentaron, gracias a mi amplia red de contactos, estuve negociando con él para obtener sus planos de armas para la Inquisición. Por desgracia, un noble de Voldorma, que tiene un ejército privado, acaba de superar mi oferta. No me gustaría perder esos diseños. Vamos a hacer algo, ser Morris, intendente. Las ideas de la Inquisición son más importantes. Yo me encargo de esto. Lograré convencer al noble. Ok, simplemente quiero ver si hay uno de 14 horas como desenmascarar a aquellos allende los mares. Nuestros efectivos han borrado los símbolos del triángulo invertido de los puestos de avanzada, no han vuelto a aparecer, lo cual significa mucho que cada quien le interese la Inquisición. Alguien organizado relacionado con aquellos allende los mares. Hemos descartado a los Tonare como principales sospechosos. No obstante, saber quiénes son nos indica quiénes son, qué hacen o por qué. Son listos y tienen recursos. Nosotros también lo somos y los tenemos. Debemos saber qué se juega con la Inquisición. Si queremos que nuestras investigaciones sean exitosas, tenemos que atacar rápido, antes de que sepan que estamos buscando. Un esfuerzo coordinado atacando todos los indicios a la vez. Esto es absurdo. Nuestra fuerza no puede dedicarse a esclarecer supuesta conspiración de alguien obsesionado con dibujos de tiza. Es mejor que olvidemos y nos centremos. ¿Qué pasa? No hagamos nada. El juego de la verdad. Ok. No nos conocemos, pero creo que me habéis salvado discretamente que se me relacione con un asunto más desagradable. Como no me gusta estar en deuda con nadie, daré el paso de compensaros con una noticia interesante. Sabéis que la gran duquesa de Leeds hizo una visita al lago Celestín recientemente. Es más, pasó toda la quincena como invitada de Alvin Blanchard de Valmontaigne. A la luz de sus demás relaciones, la curiosa cantidad de dinero que ha circulado por la región después puede que queráis pasaros a verlo. Atentamente, Duque Barley Fontaine. Entren en el juego. Nuestros agentes podemos poner al descubierto su relación con Florine para que todo el mundo lo vea. El Duque de hecho estaba conspirando con Florine a la corte imperial. Le gustaría saberlo. Ok. La casa Ambladris, ok. Dorian ha completado la investigación de Liberalum y cree que ha encontrado una relación entre Corifis y el antiguo maestro llamado Cetius de la casa Ambladris. Esto será difícil de demostrar, puede que... A ver, un momento. Dorian ha completado la investigación. Esto demostrará que tengo utilidad limitada. Pero vale señalar que la casa Ambladris aún existe. Decir que Corinthians y Cetius son la misma persona será un escándalo. Incluso anti-Winter escándalos que los actuales miembros de la familia estarán desesperados por evitar. Enviemos la información como gesto de buena voluntad a ver qué hacen con ella. Hagámosle chantaje, ellos mismos saben lo mismo, los papeles estuvieron invertidos. Todas las casas de Tiberius tienen elevados. Mandamos la información a uno de ellos. Enviamos la información con gesto de buena voluntad a ver qué hacen con ella. Ok, es mejor que lo haga. Se ha establecido contacto con... y hay varios otros al servicio de Corifes. Les prometemos inmortalidad en el otro mundo y nada les detendrá en este. No les cabe en la cabeza la idea de abandonar a su amo, por tanto no pueden imaginar que yo abandoné a su amo. Y esa es vuestra oportunidad. Os puedo entregar toda esta gente y prometo que hay nombres entre ellos. Pero no actuarán, No se revelarán sin una promesa de victoria que justifique arriesgarlo todo. Dadme un objetivo inquisitivo y poner vuestra gente en una debilidad obvia, un auténtico error táctico y os dolerá legítimamente. Debe ser así. Ellos sentirán cualquier falsedad, revelar vuestro flanco y yo revelaré el cuchillo. Y luego podréis cogerlos ahí. Ese es mi plan. Sé lo que parece, quizás os haya engañado todo el tiempo y ahora simplemente os pida que me concedáis la victoria, pero yo estoy en el juego, Isidora, y vos jugaréis también. Logrando que esa Florin de Chalon. Hay que hacer la promesa, mi gente vigilará a los mensajeros, atraparemos a algunos de sus conspiradores y la única persona que arriesgaremos será ella. Está loca si cree que correremos. No. Pero ella no es uno de ellos, bastará con una orden para dar. Es un riesgo. Ok, casi todos son de esta mujer. Alianza con el corazón. El conflicto entre los nobles de la capital loresiana ha llegado a un punto crítico. Richelieu ha estado ocupada fomentando un matrimonio con concebidos para solidificar la posición de los jugadores actuales con sus tratos considerables reservados para ella como casamentera. El objetivo es emparejar a Lord de Rosier con la hija de Tibul Celeste. Todos los que tienen estatus suficiente para hablar parecen estar de acuerdo, pero hemos recibido una serie de cartas en relación al asunto. Rey Basil Tibul. Mi hijo obedecerá respetuosamente, pero conozco sus sentimientos. No hablará con nadie. Me gustaría que lo recordarais, que somos siervos del mundo que hemos elegido, pero que él nos sirve igualmente. Es un hombre lo que estabiliza esta alianza, transmite un poder que no ha de ser dirigido equivocadamente a los casamenteros. Lord de Rosier. Francamente estaré encantado cuando concluya este asunto. No tengo deseo alguno de causar molestias a la joven celeste, más allá del intercambio de nombres que recomienda Lady Rochelieu. Esto ha sido un lío de los pies a la cabeza. De Jessin Leandre. Se lo ruego a la Inquisición, si mi querida Celeste está dispuesta a sacrificarse para asegurar esta alianza, yo no puedo hacer lo mismo. Puede que mi nombre no sea suficiente para algunos, pero ella gozará de mi protección directamente por el servicio realizado a vuestro favor. Ahora necesitamos esto. Sugiero maniobras separadas en las marcas libres y el circuito estándar y 2 más, que la joven pareja esté fuera del alcance. Si habéis decidido proceder con la unión concertada, Jessin Leandre deberá ser escoltado discretamente fuera de la ciudad. No deseo que estuvieran presente. Esto es una mala idea. El matrimonio de los dos jóvenes podría ser suficiente si otras inversiones se animaran. Doctor Rosier, retírese. No lo entiendo. Ese lo leeré después. Sacar provecho de la alianza Fairbanks. Me han informado que el Concilio de los Heraldos ha revisado las pruebas y reconoce a Barit Lemarck, al que conocimos hasta ahora como Fairbanks, como único heredero de Lord Jurjux Lemarck. Todos son bienes inmuebles que conserva la casa mobiliaria. Lemarck pasa ahora a ser propiedad del Lord de Barit Lemarck. Vuelo una oportunidad, Josephine. Y todo un rebelde que ayuda a los desvalidos y combate contra los enemigos del imperio y todo ello mientras oculta su sangre noble. Es una historia de lo más romántico y los adolescentes les encanta. Si vendemos bien a Lord de Varys, tendremos a todas las damas adineradas del sur de Orley comiendo de su mano y de la vuestra. Lord de Varys Lemarck, me gustaría ver cómo se defiende en la corte. El juego es implacable y hasta los mejores jugadores flaquean. Un solitario que vive en los bosques lo van a destrozar, pero cuando se le ofrece una presa fácil, los depredadores se suelen volver arrogantes y revelan sus puntos de vista. Estaremos observando. Tengo entendido que Fairbanks nunca ha querido reconocer a quién es. Habéis sido vos quien ha permitido el Concilio de los Heraldos conociera el verdadero sobre su herencia. Yo propongo que lo dejemos en paz y que dejemos conservar su intimidad la poca que le queda. Duties. Tenemos que hablar para bailar en el precio del invierno, pero se pueda pedir a un baile que ofreciste. A lo mejor no estáis familiarizada con la alemanda. Es el prejuicio de todo gran movimiento en la música y en el juego. Estaré encantada de enseñar los pasos. Para empezar, las parejas forman dos filas frente a frente. Al sur del camino imperial entre Rochelle y Montsimart se encuentra la cuenca de Ilen. Es un hermoso lugar de bosquecillos y de nogales malvarrosos y bodegas de hidromiel de infinita categoría. Recientemente perdió su señor la guerra civil. En el extremo occidental Ilen está el joven y esperando conde de Poison, alineado sus soldados de juguete para una rápida y silenciosa invasión. No seréis capaz de dejar al pobre chico sin pareja de baile, ¿verdad? La Inquisición defiende la cuenca Ilen, de que carece del señor. Quizás sea considerado vuestra propiedad. Cuidado con esos pasos, querida. Cordialmente, la marquesa Mantillón. Hace poco. Okay.
Let's see what we have.
Ok, dejar esto por el momento y regresaremos a hacer más adelante. Esto fue Playing for Change, Dragon Age Inquisition, y nos vemos en el próximo episodio donde iremos a ver qué onda con el Lufian.